here we are. Hello, Deborah.
Hello.
Where are we?
Well, we're actually in the Grapes in Lees. It's a small village in Oldham.
And this is your old stomping ground, isn't it?
It is actually, yeah. Like I've just shown you, it's got absolutely loads of locations for filming.
Yeah,
Love it.
it's beautiful.
Absolutely
And we
love
will get into that in a minute. But first, how are you feeling? How's your life going so at the moment?
Well, lots of things at the moment. So, what do you mean in general? Or?
Well, in general, how's it going?
Well, I will be coming out of nursing very shortly, as you know. We won't go into that, but we will. I will be coming out of nursing. I'm going to go and look after Mum. So I'll be moving back to Lees Village, which I've not. I mean, the last time I was down here was like 10 years ago.
Long time.
So, yeah, that's why I wanted to take you down the valley today, because I've not actually been down there for 10 years, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
And I can attest to that. It's really beautiful.
It is.
Really beautiful.
Yeah.
You're going to be doing some more vlogs on your side of YouTube when you're more settled, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I'm going to be doing, a lot of things to do with my films, what are coming up, and the scripts that I'm doing at the moment. And I'm going to use the locations to actually go and do some vlogs. And perfect spots down there as well to do the ideas and the concepts for, the new scripts and the new films that are coming up.
Yeah, well, we're going to get all into that, but first I want to get to know you first.
Okay.
Actually, before we do anything, cheers.
Oh, cheers.
To you, to me, to the future of humanity.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Cheers. Always drinking. So, first things first, this is the first of, well, let's strip it back a minute. I've been wanting to do this for so long.
I know, we've put it on hold for a long time.
2 years.
Yeah.
Even before I wanted to do YouTube. I think a year and a half I've been wanting to do YouTube. But then even then I was like, I want to sit you down and start listening to the backstory of who you are, because you fascinate me. But then you started getting all popular.
Oh, I don't think I'm popular.
Oh, you bloody are. No. And then I thought,
No.
any time now, she's going to be like too expensive.
I wish.
But let's get down to who you are first. You're not supposed to look at this.
All right.
Right. So your name is Debra Marie Mawdsley.
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 You know why? Because my mouth closes over. I'm working on it. So say it again. Your name is
Mawdsley. Mawdsley.
Mawdsley.
Yes.
Good. Born 23rd of November.
Yeah.
Not saying the year, because you might want to be a bit shy about the
Oh,
year.
I don't mind. I'm 52.
You're 52.
Yeah,
She's
I don't
looking
mind.
great, isn't she? And you went to Count Hill School.
I did.
What was that like?
I didn't like school. I
Hated it.
school. Absolutely hated.
There must have
school.
been some part of it that you connected
running
with.
down the ski slope, and what I used to do is I used to go and get my mark,
Yeah.
and we used to run down the ski slope. So anybody who knows Count Hill School, there is a ski slope at the back, and we used to run down, go to my mate's house, and just have brews all day and toast.
Yeah.
And because like the teachers were a bit sort of like thick in them days. Sorry.
Sorry, teachers who might be still around.
You know, they wasn't actually, on your case all the time like they are now.
Did he have did he beat you, or did he do anything
We
like
used
that?
to get the ruler.
Really?
We used to get the ruler,
Even
yeah.
the girls?
Even the girls. We used to get the ruler.
What
else
did you do to get the
cane.
ruler?
I think I got the ruler once. Probably through smoking behind the bike sheds.
Some things don't change.
And it was just like, one cigarette like between five of us.
Yeah.
Two's up, three's up, and it was, it's them were memories. But I didn't like school. I hated school.
So what? Because I'm the same. I didn't like school either. To be fair, what was the offset to that? What did you do outside of school that sort of make you blossom?
Well, it's really weird, because even though I didn't like school, I used to peg off a lot. I actually got caught on the last day of leaving school, and I just thought, oh my God.
So you were leaving school, you didn't even bother to attend that?
Exactly. And it was just like, I used to like the school discos. I really did like the school discos and things like that, and the drama and things like that. But anything else, it was just, I used to like RE actually.
Religious
Yeah,
studies,
I used to like
I
that.
like that, because it's the exotic nature of different cultures and that.
Yeah, but looking at it now, it's just like, where's the rest of it?
Good point. We're going to get onto that in a minute, hopefully.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the list. You graduated University of Manchester in 2003.
Well, I actually left school, and then I went and did 3 years performing arts and dance, which was at Oldham College on Higginshaw.
Yeah, did I have that down?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so when I did that and I finished that course, I mean, absolutely loved that, absolutely loved it. And I did a couple of productions at Grange Arts Centre.
Yeah.
It was really funny. I played a clown called Drippings.
All right, you're going to have to tell us that story. Well, how did that happen?
I can't remember.
That's not gritty, is it?
It's not gritty. And I played Martha Beamish. I remember the character. It was in Lark Rise. It was like an old medieval, an old time play, which was good. So I remember them too more than anything. But I did actually love college. I didn't do anything with it. And then, you know, when you sort of like, you get to a certain age and you leave college and you think, right, okay, so I want to earn some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All them years back. I mean, you're talking. I mean, wow, it's
the mists of time.
Yes. So then my first job was an auxiliary nurse. And so I did that for about.
So you didn't do something dead easy like
No.
me, go work at the supermarket. You're doing
that's
really
it.
life-saving stuff.
Yeah. So I went and did the auxiliary nurse for about 8 years, and then I thought, okay, so I've done that now. You know, I want to take it further. And I was really into my nursing at the time and everything. And then I did my access to nursing, which was like 12 months.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went to uni for 3 years, so 4 years training. And 20 years later, I'm sat here and I'm still a qualified nurse, but won't be for long.
Things change, don't they? Well, life moves on, doesn't it? You've done enough. You've done enough for society.
Well, this is it. I mean, you know, I did 10 years in A&E.
It's tough, isn't it?
I know. And then, you know...
Not that I know, but what I've seen of it.
It's just... I loved it, and it was the best place to learn. But the thing is, it was so hard work because you just sort of like do all these like 4 12-hour shifts, 2 weeks on days, and then you do 2 weeks on nights, and it just burns you out. It really burns you out as a nurse. I can imagine. It's just on your feet constantly. So I had a bit of a break in between with some personal issues, but then I went back to it, and then now I just work with mental health and dementia and everything in the homes, but through an agency, which allows me to be flexible, like for my writing and films.
Yeah, which is perfect.
So that's
all right.
where
What's
I
on the
am
list
up to at the
now?
moment.
Thinking Actors, Media City.
Loved it.
How was that for you?
Loved it. Peter Carroll.
I
Really,
know
really
him.
good.
I know that name. I'm sure I used to be friends with him.
He's really good. Really good. So I learnt a lot there. So after, obviously, I started off doing a bit of extra work for, you know, a casting agency. And,
do you remember which one?
Yeah, well, Lemon's Castings.
Was it Lemon Casting?
Yeah, the one that where we met.
Yeah, well, we're going to get onto that as well, but I didn't think they provided much.
They didn't.
Fair,
I mean,
they?
I did some extra work when I first started out doing my acting, which was about 5-6 years ago. I did a bit of extra work for Scott and Bailey, but I never.
That's handy, isn't it?
It was really good. You sort of like gain the experience on set and everything. But
well, you get to observe because as an extra, you're not really a part of it. You're just there, aren't you? No. And that's what always frustrated me.
And then I went into the independent. I was scouted a lot as I put you know, like Star Now and Casting Call.
Oh, you introduced me to that.
Yeah, and I was scouted a lot. So what I did then is, as I went through the journey of independent films and then started with them. So I did quite a few. There was a controversial one I did in Halifax, but it was banned because it was very, very controversial. It was brilliant. So I've worked with some really good actors, really.
You've been spoilt. But anyway, let's get back to the list. Nickname is Pebbles. Where's that from?
That's from my auntie. She's always called me Pebbles since I was younger. I think it comes from the Flintstones.
That makes sense. Yeah. So why you don't?
Because probably I was a little fat kid with blonde hair.
Oh, don't be daft, really.
And a little bun in. But yeah, she's always called me Pebbles. So yeah,
no, I just thought that was a fascinating factoid there.
Yeah, it's stuck.
Well, now known as Pebbles.
Pebbles.
Now, loves of your life, Champagne, Bella and Demi.
Oh yeah, my animals.
I know you're like, Demi, Bella, Demi. Every time you're on the phone, you're like, Bella, Bella.
Because Bella doesn't know when to shut up, and every time that I'm on the phone, she sort of like, it's like a button that you switch on. Right, time for me to bark, Mum. And she does it every time. Whoever I'm on the phone to, or I'm doing a voice note to anybody and yourself, it's just like, yap, 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 yap. And I'm just thinking, and that's why you can hear me say, Bella, will you shut up?
Stop it, Damien! Stop it!
I love animals.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, the animals are my, number one. Well,
definitely.
Well,
close second to
to
love of writing, as we're going to get to in a minute. And you love Armageddon and 8 Mile.
Oh, I love Armageddon.
I know. 8 Mile is something that we need to watch. We keep putting it off.
Yeah,
don't
we need to watch that together and sort of like go through it.
I don't know how it's going to work if you're living at home with your mum.
Yeah, I mean, when you come up, we can, we can still watch it.
We could put a big projector in the garden for all we know. And obviously, one of your other loves is me, Stephen J. Holloran.
Oh, well, what can I say, Stephen?
And the most important, before I put this away, because I'm getting my nerves now, actor, writer at KIR Productions.
Yeah, KIR Productions is a page that I set up on Facebook, and it's basically, it's like a filing cabinet basically, and it's just like, you know, all the work that we do, all the writing that I do for, you know, show reels and things like that, and when we film on, it all comes under that. So yeah, that's my.
What does keeping it real mean to you, and what does it mean to what you're trying to say with keeping it real productions? Is it something that means a lot to you?
It does, because, you know, with my writing, I'm interested in humanity, quite deeply, and a lot of people's traumas and what they've been through. Because if you think about it, I mean, you know, we've all been through something. I mean, not all of us talk about it.
No.
You know, we carry it about for years and years, and I know a lot of people what have been through traumas, and you know, like, and who are going through traumas like depression, and you know, people with eating disorders, domestic violence and things like that. And sort of like, as I've been, you know, been brought up, I have actually seen quite a few disturbing, you know, situations. So
first hand, you've seen it first
yeah,
hand.
so it's easier for me to sort of like reach deep back, you know, reach down, and actually write it as it is, instead of fabricating it into something that it's not. What I do write, it actually comes from within and from what I've seen.
Genuine place.
Yeah. So and that's all about keeping it real.
Yeah.
Obviously, there is a couple of things that I am going to write outside the box, but it still stems to keeping it real, because I'm actually going back to history on one of my films, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, which actually affected humanity.
Which, again, another thing we're going to go into is spirituality, the meaning of life, and what's next.
Yeah.
We will get into that. But first things first, how did we meet?
We met through Lemon Castings, didn't we?
What a day. What a day that was. So talk through, I mean, actually, this is a self-indulgent question, but what did you think of me?
Well, you know, like we sort of like had to go in groups to sort of like film.
Yeah, me, you and George, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was me, you
Which
and
I'm going to
George.
interview as well.
Yeah, George is lovely.
Yeah.
So it was like, I think I was sort of like messing up with my lines, weren't I?
Only a little bit on the cum
Yeah,
bit.
there was a part where I was just like, are you being rude?
No, there was a bit that you said it was very naughty.
Oh, okay. I can't remember that. Can you remember it?
Yeah, because in the script, the line is, explain why we found your DNA
Oh, yeah. I
on the
remember
body,
now.
and it wasn't just saliva, and you went, and it wasn't just cum. Or something, and me and George just broke character instantly and just wet ourselves laughing. And every time it came close to that line, we just couldn't get past it.
Yeah, it was. Yes, the way that it was written. It was the way that it was written as well. It was just like, oh my God, how am I supposed to say this?
What the person I met, right? This is what I'm fascinated about, because you've gone from the person I met, 3.5, 4 years ago.
It's about 3.5 years.
You've gone from that person who seems so, not self-confident. You were sort of like radiating this like timid nature. You were sort of second guessing your lines and second guessing how your approach would be, to this really
like
confident. No, not winging it, because you knew what you needed to do, but you were looking back and going, oh, am I doing this right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You weren't quite there. To now, which you're like, no, I know exactly what I want to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a massive transformation.
I think it's just experience, isn't it? And it's like my first film, Safe from Harm. I think, well, actually, tell a lie. I think when I'd been in Tina, which you know about,
Yeah.
it sort of like opened up doors for me. I wanted to sort of like have a go at doing my own short film. I mean, I knew my limitations, that I couldn't do a feature and things like that. I mean, it's obviously money as well, but I thought, you know, I'll start with a short film and I'll start with a showreel scene. And I started writing showreel scenes, and then I just thought, why not take it to the next level and try a short film? And then when I wrote Save from Harm, although, you know, technically it wasn't perfect, I just thought, have I done that? Have I actually produced that?
And that's a release in itself, because like you say, you link all your writing to something deep in the past, which is not easy to do. Not a lot of people can do that.
And
So
I think
that's always been what you can do, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's what, you know, sort of like opened up the doors, and, you know, it inspired me to do more, and I just got an appetite for it. And I just, when I started doing the writing, I just thought, there's no way that I can write a script. And then when I wrote the script, I thought, oh yes, there is. And then it just snowballed.
Well, it's that thing is that once you find that knack of writing, there's no way you could sort of participate in other people's writing.
No.
It feels alien.
Yeah, it feels weird.
Speaking of which.
Yeah. Aliens. I love aliens.
It's working alien.
But yeah, I mean, that's I mean, you know, at the moment when I'm doing childhood, at the moment I'm just sort of like writing it at the moment. And once you know, when you get enthralled in your own scripts and you know exactly what you want, it just takes you to a different world. And it's like, so when anybody phones, or when when anybody knocks on the door, it's like, no, go away, go away.
It's like sucking you back into that reality, isn't it?
So yeah, I absolutely love writing.
Yeah, I can see that.
I do like acting, but I think the writing gives me more of a heartburst.
Yes, I get that.
Yeah.
When you create something of your own and no one else has been involved in that concept, it's your baby, it's your vision. Yeah. No one else can touch it.
Yeah.
And acting for someone else is tough then, isn't it? I mean, I feel it, because we've said this many times. Acting for someone else is terrible now, because I don't think their writing compares to yours. Because it doesn't take much for me to act your writing. It's there. It's in the script. Other people's, it's sort of like ambiguous. You have to make it up. It's like, what am I doing here? Yours is all there. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's improvisations and there's, you know, playing about with stuff. But if you're going to write something deep, then you need for that dialogue to sort of like, you know, come off the page in action. And, you know, I have had sort of like, you know, input from different independent directors, which is really good, because I always take that on board, especially with, you know, particular people where their work is really good as well. Yeah. So I do like to collaborate with those who do like the writing, the scripts and that, because you're learning every day. Do you know what I mean? No one's perfect.
Exactly. And the one thing I like about, well, I was saying this to George, the one thing that I could take away from the lemon casting session we did was that it changed everything for me.
Yeah.
Because not only did I meet some fantastic people, but it changed my perception of what I could play. Yeah. And I think the same happened to you, that you didn't play the same mumsy kind of roles. It was
I played a policewoman.
You played a policewoman, and you were in a scene that was very, very dark. Yeah. And then it showed me my limitations, what I can and can't do, and it opened that scope. And then we started collaborating, didn't we?
Yeah, and never looked back.
And it's just been this
been best
succession.
3.5 years now.
I know, because yay! I know, happy anniversary. But let's strip it back to your childhood now, because I want to know more about the little Debra in this area. And so, what's your happiest memory?
Right. Well, I used to. Me and my mum used to. We used to be in a dancing troupe. We used to go to different places, you know, with carnivals and things like that. So I used to enjoy that. And my mum used to be in it as well, so that was really good. What did
you get out of the experience? Was it just nice having that time with your mum?
Yeah, and going to different places and going for competitions. You know, gaining medals and trophies for best leader and things like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Loved it.
Showing leadership qualities right there.
Older Maces, they were called. Older Maces. So.
Big up.
So it's really good.
How did you get into that?
I think my mum was in it first, and then obviously I was only about 5 or 6, and then I started. I remember a picture that we've got, and it's got like a pink little dress on, what we used to have, and the little waistcoat that I've got on. I think I've got one medal on it. It was just like one little medal.
Have you ever showed me a picture of that?
I think I have. I think I've got my arms like that.
Yeah.
And I was holding my mum's hand as well. But yeah, they're great memories. There's quite a few. I mean, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents in Gloucester. I used to love Gloucestershire. Absolutely love Gloucestershire. So I used to go down there for 6-week holidays and get spoilt rotten.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I used to love college. I used to like college. University
Because it was freedom. Was it? Because you seem to be this kind of person who doesn't want to be limited in scope. You like to sort of break free and do your own thing. So
I don't like
college?
being restricted.
Yeah. Is that college
really
for you?
Yeah. That's why I didn't like school. And then when I went to college, university was okay, but there was a lot of work in it because, like, my son was only small when I was doing my studying, so it was really hard work, and plus we didn't have any money. But I did that and I passed it. I mean, I didn't even go for my results for qualifying for a nurse. I was that convinced that I'd failed it.
Yeah.
And I ended up with one of the highest marks. I'm like, I think you've got the wrong PIN number.
That's your self-doubt coming through again, isn't it?
Yeah. And I did 20 years of that. But I think, even though I don't regret it fully, I think if I had my time again, I would have kept with the acting, the drama and dance, what I did right from school, and followed that through. But at the time, it was just, I wanted to take another route.
Yeah. Well, you see practicality of life versus the ambition of life, isn't it?
I think now is probably the best time that I've come back into it, like 5 or 6 years ago, because I've got that experience of life now.
Yeah.
And I can put that, that's material, isn't it? You've got enough material then to write and do films, and that's where I'm up to. So obviously when I leave nursing, my focus will be on the mum.
Yeah.
And obviously doing my stuff.
I know. I can't wait to see.
I can't wait.
Because again, there's a friend of mine who's always restricted in a flat. She's in a flat in London, and she's feeling trapped, but she feels free when she's out of the flat.
Yeah.
For me, you're in relation to that. You're free now.
Yeah.
You're able to just and the amount you've achieved in the time you've been in this position of like nursing, working those hours, struggling.
Yeah, 12 hours.
And then still doing it. And that's what I admire the most.
It's really hard because, like we say from I did fund my own film.
Yeah.
So I used to work like 12 hours a day, like, 3 shifts. I mean, that's 36 hours, isn't it? It just is sort of like 3 shifts.
More than I work.
It's knackering, and sometimes I'll like go and blast it, and I'll do like 4 or 5 shifts a week just so that I could pay for my own film. And that's what I did, because I was determined that I wanted to give the actors and the crew a payment, and that's what I'll do with all my films. It might not be a massive amount, but I'm just that kind of person that would, that kind of, who does their own films, who if you go and spend most of your day going and doing filming, then you need to have something to show for it, even if you're just, covering expenses. It has to be, because it's still a skill.
Yeah.
And this is one of my things, one of my bugbears, is like, it's frowned upon and it's not looked at as a proper job, and it should be. It should be looked at as a proper job.
But because it's more based on freelance, it's more based on as soon as you reach that level, isn't it?
But we was born as creators. We was born as creators. I mean, it's only the programme as such that's actually said, you've got to go to work and you've got to pay us tax and you've got to do this and you've got to do that. Well, why can't we do what we want to do? Because we were born with a free will.
Yeah. Which is where we are right now. There's a tug of war between the state and humanity right now.
It's a spiritual war. It is, and it all boils down to that. I'm not bothered about people and what they believe in and everything. And I think, we've all got different religions and different beliefs and that. But if you do your research, if anybody does do the research into humanity thousands of years ago, you will actually see that there is a hell of a lot of history that's been took out of the Bible.
Yeah. Because history is written by the people in charge.
But why do that? Do you know what I mean?
To limit the human condition.
Exactly.
To limit our scope to breathe,
Exactly.
But back to the acting, I mean, writing for you, like we say, it's very therapeutic. So let's say your films get big. And I think they will, but if they get big and you get successful, you get tons of money, what's the first thing you're going to do with that money and the fame, the recognition that you've achieved through your films? What do you want to do with that?
Well, I don't know. I'd probably just make another film.
Just keep the book,
just keep
turning.
it rolling. I'd probably give, if there was loads of money, I'd probably, God bless it, you know, my mum's still here and that happens, then buy us a little cottage somewhere amongst the trees.
Yeah.
And probably give the RSPCA some money.
Yeah. Oh, talk about your
Yeah.
love of animals, because you're a big animal lover.
Oh, I am, yeah.
Especially dogs.
Love dogs, love cats, love any animals. It's like I said to you when we went down walking and everything, I can't live anywhere without, if it's not got no trees or any nature, I can't live there because I just feel...
Do you actively choose these places? Because the last 3 places I've seen you move to, there seems to be greenery around. Does it just land on your lap?
I think it just lands on my lap. I think it's like, obviously in my mind, in my consciousness, it's sort of like saying, I just feel a lot better in myself. I feel so alive being around, you know, greenery and the trees and everything. And like my mum, she has squirrels coming in and they take nuts from her, you know, like monkey nuts from her.
And hedgehogs, you said about hedgehogs.
She's got a little hedgehog house there. But, you know, I like all that.
Yeah.
I couldn't live in the city.
Oh, God, no. Who'd want to?
Not for me, never has been. Always wanted to sort of like be out there and, you know, around the trees. Just gives you that uplift.
Yeah, well,
what can you write about in the city? You can't write about it.
It's mad, critic. And what I noticed, because as you know, I think the audience knows as well, that I had a spiritual awakening in February.
Okay.
It was like the end of my old life and the beginning of a new, and that's because I finally connected to that and resonated on a frequency.
Right.
Because you believe in frequencies
I do.
I do.
Yeah.
And it was hard at first because you don't know what you're perceiving. You feel that nothing, you feel like you're crazy, and then suddenly I'm not, I'm free.
Yeah.
And it's been that bounce back into mainstream, up, down, up, down, up, down. Hello, sir.
Oh, yeah.
That was a lovely meal, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so tell us about your belief when it comes to... No problem.
Thank you.
Tell us about your belief when it comes to existence and frequencies and that, because that's a big topic for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's nice. I mean, I've always, from a little girl, known that there was something else. I've always felt that there was something more out there. I don't believe in that we've evolved from an organism, from a rock, and then
From a rock.
we go up in this. I don't believe in Darwin's theory anyway.
Is that the 8th one?
Yeah, that's the 8th one. And then suddenly we die and there's nothing and there's black and we're a piece of meat and we get burnt and that's it.
I can't fathom that either. The consciousness that we're in now, we can
Yeah.
perceive and touch things, suddenly nothing. There's got to be something else, isn't it?
There is doing it that way. The Darwin theory is, and then just like having nothing right at the end of it. Then what is the point? There's no point in it, is there?
It's sad. That's sad. It's a
There's
sad
no
way
point
to
of
think.
humanity.
Yeah.
If you think about it that way, I do believe that we actually come. Obviously, you know, our consciousness actually comes into this vehicle, what we've got now, which is our body, and then obviously it goes into it's a process, and it just keeps going into different vehicles and it keeps going back. You have to learn so much to take back to the source, because everything that you're learning is taken back to the source. It's very, very deep, and some people say she's off her head. No, but
we're always off our head anyway, because we come out with stuff that, I mean, I say discombobulators and people think, that's a bit posh, isn't it?
I mean, it's like when people say, you know, about deja vu. I don't believe that. There's no such thing. I mean, I don't think
it happens too often.
It's synchronicity, isn't it?
Synchronicity.
Synchronicity.
Mawdsley.
I think it's meant to be like that. So, you know, say if like you're thinking about somebody and then suddenly they ring, it's actually... You know,
I believe it's not law of attraction, but I believe that you put that energy out there.
Yeah.
You believe it. You understand it. Yeah. And these things come to you.
Yeah, definitely.
And it becomes the universal lining for you.
Yeah.
It's like when I've had signs, you know, signs from the sky saying this is a good choice. It happens infrequently, but when it happens for a reason.
I mean,
it feels genuine.
I mean, there's another thing as well that you can look at, which actually proves a point. If we are energy and we're frequencies, because if you look at the brain, it's full of electrical impulses. So why be full of electric if we're nothing? We haven't got a battery in there, have we?
It's every little cell in your body is held together by electrical fields.
That's it.
And it's all binds together, and then it doesn't exist.
I mean, I mean, we are actually on the third dimension, and obviously we've got different dimensions. I do believe that we're in is it a 12-zone matrix kind of thing? Like
I'm not as versed as you are in the where
grid,
we are, but
in the grid, I think we have had a grid place there, and I really don't think, I really do think that you know, part of the shadow doesn't want us to evolve. And that's why we've been dumbed down.
Humanity is powerful when it groups together.
Yeah.
It forgets all of its gender, sexuality, all this stuff.
Yeah. But it'll come out. It will come out.
The human condition is too powerful for it not to.
It will come out.
You know.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And I'm just grateful, really, that I'm here just to see it happening.
Well, I think you said that to me a few months ago. It's like, we're here, we're in this time. I think Laurie Ladd said it, actually. Yeah. We're in this time, we're lucky to witness this transition.
To the move,
And just hold on tight.
Yeah.
That's what we can say, really. But I want to move. I want to move to obviously the future of what you want to do once you're settled at home. Yeah, you're with your mum. You've got your money sorted. So you're doing Bloodspeaker.
I am. Yeah, I want to try and get Bloodspeaker done before the end of the year. Yeah. Obviously, with the weather.
Talk about Bloodspeaker.
Bloodspeaker is based on a true story of somebody who is, obviously for confidentiality reasons, I can't say so, which is, you know, he is part of the family, which happened in March 2020 when the pandemic started, and it's basically a mental health one. I won't go too much into it because it just gives the plot away, but it is based on what happened to him. Yeah. And it is actually real. You know, it's based on true story, so that should be good. That's a short film, and then I've got Child Within, which is another mental health film, but it's got quite a few deep layers to that, going into, you know, this character's past, and she's in you know, a domestic abuse relationship, but this character's got depression, and there's an underlying learning disability there, but it's not actually, you know, you can't see it. Yeah. But it is there, and there's a couple of things that happen in that, and that's quite disturbing in some places, which is actually based on, that isn't fabricated, that's based on true to like, you know, I've actually. This is what's happened in real life for you, and it's again what you said before about you've experienced these moments for yourself firsthand, and it's penning that down is something that is therapeutic, and and you can tell because it means so much to you, doesn't it? It does. To get it down on paper. It does, because a lot of people, they don't express their feelings, and you know, they carry it about for years and years and years. You know, the trauma. And even if, like, you know, somebody offers them help or whatever, some people just don't go there, and you know, they can carry it for years, and it can destroy them, eventually destroy them. Is that what happened to you? Did you carry a trauma around for that long that you felt giving up? Did you ever feel like giving up? I mean, there has been times where, you know, that there's, you know, from little bits of traumas, you know, in life, that you do feel like, you know, saying, you know, bollocks to it, I've had enough. But then you just think about it and you just think, well, life's too precious, you know, you need to get over it, and sort of like reach back into yourself. You need to deal with it, and I think that's the key. You need to deal with it. You really do need to deal with it, because nobody's going to come and help you, basically. I mean, you can have as many counsellors as you know as you want. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's up to you. Yeah, I figured that out the hard way, that it doesn't matter how many people are on your side, you need to figure this out yourself. Because if you don't, you're just going to go around in circles. Exactly, and it just ruins your life. Yeah. It ruins your life, because you can't enjoy anything, or, you know. So if you feel that trauma, and you feel the feelings that you had when you had that trauma, then that helps to heal yourself. Well, it's like antidepressants. I took them for a bit, beginning of the year. I didn't want to, but I was told I had to. Because of my chemical imbalance and how I was feeling, and literally, I mean, describe what it was like. It was like I was not me anymore. I wasn't making any sense at all. No, it wasn't you at all. You was just, even with the look of you, and when we used to speak and you used to send videos and that, speaking videos, it was just like you look like a zombie, and it was just like, he needs to get off
And
these.
millions of people are on antidepressants now.
And it
How can you
wasn't-
function
no,
like that?
You can't. It's like being a robot, isn't it? And it's just, and then when you do come off it, then you still have the side effects of coming off, you know. I just wish people really do a lot more alternative medicine, you know, maybe therapy or cognitive
Creativity.
therapy. Yeah, and creativity.
Creativity is what helps people move forward. It's how I accidentally found acting, because I grew up being bullied, being, you know, I'm not a bloke because I don't like football. So basically I went into acting, with speech therapy, did all that, and it became me.
Yeah.
And without that I wouldn't be here now. Creativity is what helps humanity get through things.
I think so. And like I said, we're born with it. It's a natural thing to be creative. Every single one of us is creative, and it's just that it's looked at as like some kind of hobby. And if we could be creative like 9-5 every single day and get paid for it, the world would be a better place.
Oh, that's why I like Star Trek, because the Star Trek message is that everyone doesn't work for money, they don't work for business, they work to better humanity.
Exactly. And I think that's what
it's a fantastic message, and they've hazed it now with the way it's been brought out now. It's like, no, everything's all dystopian, everything's all like pew pew pew.
It's all programmed. It's so
rubbish.
wrong. They just don't want us to, you know, do anything with our lives apart from go to work and just get old and die. That's basically what they think, and I refuse to do that.
Yeah, me too.
I refuse to do that.
And again, this is what brings us full circle back to lemon casting, because the meetup, chance meetup that we had, because I went to about 3 sessions with lemon casting and I didn't quite connect.
I'd not been at her for a while.
You'd done a few in the past, because I've seen your scenes, but the scenes that we got was like, hi mum, you're all right? Yeah. You're not paid the rent? Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't
boring.
There
was nothing of substance. And when he said to me, do you want to come back? I went, right, I want to come, but please give me something that I can...
Yeah, we needed something different. And I think people who do like showreel scenes, I always treat that as an acting class. I always treat showreel scenes as an acting class. I think
it's an experience that you take away from, isn't it?
I did it at Magoo Studios last week. I'm going to go down this week as well, at the weekend, to do something else.
Yeah.
But when I was there last week, it was just like, it just went so fast, because obviously we was there, we was enjoying what we were doing and that. And I just treat it as like it's
But you know why?
Class.
You're creative. You're in a room with so many different people who are really inspired by what they do, and they love what they do. They're not there to piss about.
Isn't it? Like-minded people and energy. So yeah, I think the more people that got into something like, even like if somebody enjoyed painting or photography or, you know, anything like that, riding their horses every day, why can't we be paid for that?
Well, this is why I do this, because between acting, it's about putting something out there that's honest.
Yeah.
It's not just creative, but it's also doing some good.
Yeah.
I enjoy talking to different people.
That's it.
And resonating with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like people who sing, isn't it? I mean,
I wish I could bloody sing.
Yeah,
I can't sing.
I can't sing as well.
Now, we've talked about lemon casting.
Okay.
I think the biggest benchmark for you that really sprung you up was Tina.
Tina, yeah.
I mean, you're smiling now, because I remember that came out of nowhere, because it was like, we did our scene, you got noticed, and then this Tina went. I mean, it was so much hard work for you.
Yeah, it was.
Tell us about Tina and what you went through.
Well, I'd lost, at the time, my dog, Ruby, and I'd had her for like 12 years and absolutely adored her. I mean, I adore all my dogs, but she was my best pal, and I was heartbroken because I've had to put her to sleep because she was really poorly and she had heart failure and everything. And I've still got the daughter now, Champagne. But I just got an inbox off the director who was doing Tina, and
Sean.
Yeah, Mr. Pilkington.
Mr. Pilkington, hello there.
And he just said, would you be interested? It was like a long, really, really long message, and I'm like, who's this?
Where did he find you? Did you apply?
I think we just added each other on Facebook, you know, like you do, like friend of a friend, and I seen him, and we were just. I think there was one instance that we was talking about like extra work and things like that, and then that was it. And then I got this really long message off him, and he just said, would you be interested in doing this? Told me about the film, told me about the character and everything, and I just went, I'll just leave it with me. And my mum just said to me, do it. You know, I know you're upset at the moment, but do it. Life's too short, and it'll give you loads of experience.
Yeah.
And you know, it was like one of the leads, and I just thought, and I just said yeah. And I'd never met any of these people, so I went all the way over to Halifax, just met new people, stayed on his settee, had a good laugh, and that was it. And
You were in at the deep end.
I did. I just thought to myself, well, you have a swim or you sink.
Sink or swim.
Yeah. And at the time, I was just like, oh God, I was so heartbroken. I just thought it might do me some good to sort of like
Get away from that mindset
Yeah.
that you're in. Yeah.
But yeah, so over a good couple of months, we filmed Tina at different weekends, so it was really good fun.
And
really good fun.
That sense of achievement, not just because of what you went through, and you were grieving and that, and you had surpassed that, but also it set a new benchmark for how you approach films, how you get on set, and the long hours that you do, and the short space of time you had to fit all those lines in.
Yeah.
So I remember you talking to me going, there's so much to learn.
There was, and there was so many scenes, a lot of scenes, and I just thought, my God, I'm not going to be able to do this in this amount of time. But we worked it, and we worked around it. It was funny, but we did it.
And literally watching it back, I know Sean doesn't really like watching it back because it was his first proper project.
Yeah, I think it's because like he now that he's gone really good, it's sort of like he's picking at things.
But you
now,
couldn't have got to that point without that point.
Exactly.
That's what I would say.
Well, we were saying this morning, didn't we? I mean, like we say from Arms, a few technical problems, but we were saying you've got to have a base to build on.
Yeah.
And that was his base.
And it was a solid base.
Yeah.
Because it was not. I don't think it's as bad as he says. I think that, especially with the tracking shots, with the, I think it was a drone.
Yeah.
And you were seeing.
He's so creative, really creative.
He knows what to do with a simple shot.
Yeah.
It was made to feel epic in that simple shot, and
really
that's
good.
creative. It's very creative.
I think he is a bit of a perfectionist, and sometimes he can go sort of like back on something and back on something and back on something, and it's like, have you finished with this or what? And it's just like, that's just the way that he is, and that's just the way that he does things. But yeah, really creative guy.
Yeah, and I hope to work with him properly in the future as well. Rightio, it's part 2, but I'm going to edit this together because what we needed another drink. So here we go.
Okay, cheers.
To you.
And to
Hey,
you.
look, it's...
Oh, the sun's coming out now.
Oh, look how beautiful it is.
Yeah.
And you can't see this, but it's actually beautiful out here because it started to get a bit chilly and I was worried. But I was just thinking as I was in the toilet.
Okay. Really?
Not naughty. But what I was thinking is that I wanted to do this interview. I don't know if you know why I wanted to do this interview, because I wanted to introduce you to the world, my world, because there's a lot of people around my neck of the woods who don't really know much about you. Do you know you in passing? There's a guy who I work with, Richie. Hello, Richie.
Hello, Richie.
Who stumbled across your videos as he was undergoing cancer treatment, and he was watching these. The videos like Safe from Harm, showreel, and it's like, oh my God, I felt it, and this is why you do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, acting it's about creating something that's real and raw. What do you think is wrong with the industry right now that you can add to it and make it better?
There's quite a lot, really, but I think.
What's your style?
Yeah, I mean, I do like to do the gritty stuff, and I do like to do films and scripts which will resonate with a lot of people in their lives. I've had quite a few inboxes saying, about Safe from Harm, which still say, I just loved it because it was just so real, and that's what Keeping It Real is about. And that's what I want to get across. It's just, I think you don't get a lot of productions what are actually doing raw.
Not really.
Raw.
It's all superficial. Like, look at Marvel. Look at these massive spectacles of skyscrapers falling over. We just want reality now. So we've had too long of reality shows, X Factor, scripted stuff, Towie.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I like a lot of films that are on Channel 4. Well, I used to. When they used to be on Channel 4, they used to you know,
What, like what?
Well, like Channel 4, like Train Spotting and things like that.
Oh,
I mean, it's
Trainspotting.
all reality,
Yeah.
isn't it? And, you know, stuff like that, it doesn't, I mean, look at the Sue and Bob too. Do you remember that? It was
Vaguely,
absolutely loved that film. But because, like, in them days, it was real. It was what happened. Do you know what I mean? They even got that to a T. I wonder about that weather.
I know. Bloody birds in there.
They even got that to a T, didn't they? Like the
Yeah.
estate and everything. And it's just like, it's amazing.
Did you ever watch Kes?
Oh, I love Kes.
I love Kes.
Absolutely love Kes. That was really good. And
It's so hurt. The impact it had on me as a kid. I mean, because it's so relatable to me being in a northern town.
Yeah.
Like, what's another one? Taste of Honey.
Yeah, that's a good one. And what's that? East to East. That
Yeah,
was so
it's been years
funny.
since I've seen
East
that.
to East. Oh, that's
And
brilliant.
is it the UK northern gritty?
Yeah, I
that
mean, I
wets your
do.
whistle?
Yeah, I do like stuff like that. But obviously, like I said earlier, with Divergence, which will be filmed next year, hopefully, like once I get the script done, I'm going to start that after Christmas. That's a little bit outside the box, but it's still keeping it like real.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, it goes back in time a little bit, and I think I'm sort of like experimenting with that. But that's in its own bubble. That is like for humanity, but within its own bubble.
Yeah.
So all my other films are like all like, you know, I've Grit and things like that. But Divergence will be something a little bit more in its own bubble. But I really want to do it. I really do feel the film.
I like it. I like
Yeah,
it because
I like the
I mean,
concept.
the way I always saw it was keeping it real. It means keeping it real to you
Yeah.
and to other people who relate.
Yeah.
Reality is what you make of it,
Yeah.
and I like the fact that you're not pursuing the same agenda as the mainstream.
Yeah, I mean, I've done quite a few horrors. I do like horrors, but you have to be careful with horrors because they can look cheesy, and you don't know whether to laugh or it's serious.
There's a fine line between watching someone getting stabbed.
Yeah, I mean, the controversial one that I did was called Sons of Jihad.
Oh yeah,
do you
maybe tell me
remember?
this. Yeah, tell the audience about it.
Sons of Jihad. It was controversial, and obviously it was at the time when ISIS was going around with the
Oh
terrorism.
really?
and everything.
Oh
Yeah.
jeez.
And it was we couldn't put it out there, you know, to protect ourselves. And
Can it
that.
not happen now?
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they've still got it. I have spoke to him, but
What are they doing? What are they doing right now?
I think
Doing
they're
anything?
doing. I'm not sure that they're doing any films at the moment, but they have got some in mind. But it was really good. I mean,
Is that the one with the beheading?
yeah, I had my head cut
Oh,
off.
I don't know if I could watch that.
And my arm cut off, and I'm not saying, I'm not sort of like talking about something like, you know, it's like something what you see in one of these cheesy horrors. This was like real. I mean, my
You
hair
sent me a
was
link.
full.
I think you sent me
Yeah,
something
it
once,
was-
and I was like, I can't watch that.
Really, really gruesome. Really gruesome. It was so real. Because we actually worked with one of the actors, what's in Emmerdale now. What's she called? Amy Walsh.
I don't know.
We'll go with the blonde hair. Anyway.
One with the blonde hair. Right,
Amy
name check.
Walsh.
I don't watch
But
soaps.
she was really nice. So yeah, we did that, and that was like a longer film. But
So was that one of your first ones since you were getting back into
yeah,
acting?
that was my first one. I was scouted just after doing you know, the extra work for Lemons Castings, and I just thought, can't say no to this. Can't say no to
that was
this.
quite a good find then, wasn't it?
Yeah, because he had a vision of Anne, she was called, and I actually worked with Maria Lee Mevington. She's a really, really good actress, by the way, and she's on my Facebook friends, so she's done quite a lot. And I actually worked for her in Pumpkins, which one of the films went to Cannes, big Cannes.
Big cans.
Big Cannes.
Big cans.
So yeah, I mean that was a horror, but that was done really,
You did start
really,
finding,
really well.
if you look at on your IMDb, there was a lot of like a procession of horrors that
Yeah.
you were in, and you seemed to
Yeah.
find some sort of
Yeah.
niche there.
I did. I went through a stage at first that like with Blaze Gory as well, with MJ Dixon. He's you know, with Blaze Gory, and that was one of my first horrors as well. And I played mum in that, but I went through a stage where I was just like, I want to do the horror, but I didn't want to do any cheesy horror like people going around and killing people.
But how do you know? By the time the production's been and done, you don't know how it's going to look, do you?
Well, by the script.
So we're back to writing again. The writing's key, isn't it?
Yeah, by the script.
And also how the director
Yeah,
perceives it. It's not just
exactly.
like, oh, this is going to be a fucking slasher. You know.
I can't be doing with all them. It doesn't float my boat. I mean, you know, anybody who wants, you know, who likes that kind of thing, that's absolutely fine. But it's just not my cup of tea because it just doesn't feel like there's anything deep going
Well, you know, cutting into what Lemon Casting did and that thing we did together for the first time, we were like this when we sat across the table.
Yeah.
The one thing I liked about that character is it wasn't about the violent element, it was about the police trying to get into that criminal's head.
Yeah, it was more
unpack the truth.
psychological, weren't it?
And that's what I want to see in horror. I don't care about the blood and guts. I want to see what motivates. I
do like psychological horrors. They're really good. You know, and a psychological film is really good. I used to be into. Do you remember Cracker? I used to watch his stuff all the time.
That's another one Christopher Eccleston was in. You know, my favourite actor.
Yeah, Cracker.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
quite
it
good.
was really
Well, it's
good.
been a year since I've seen that though.
I've actually got the pack. You know, the where you get the
Box
videos.
set?
Yeah, the box set.
You got the
of
box
Cracker,
set?
Yeah.
VHS
So,
or
yeah.
DVD?
DVD.
Oh, good. Well,
Yeah.
watching that then.
Yeah.
Because again,
You can borrow that,
you
you
have
can
to
borrow the
strip
box
it back. You have to strip acting back to its core essentials, and make it about the character. All this spectacle in the way is getting in the way of knowing what the character motivation is, why they're there, what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I like psychological stuff.
Yeah, I do.
That's more
Yeah.
scary to me.
It's sort of like allowing you to work out what's going on yourself instead of sort of like pushing it in your face and saying, look, this is what's going on. It's giving you that chance to work it out yourself, because everybody's got a different perception, haven't they?
Well, yeah, this is what I was going to say about the characters we try to play, because I know what you try to play is someone who, I mean, you tend to play people who are not abused, but got something in their head that is pulling them back, they're withdrawn, they're down and out, they're just getting by. You love playing those kind of characters.
I do. I can get in touch with like the gritty characters and quite emotional as well. Like in Safe from Harm, I took on that sort of Joe character with bloody hell, I forgot my own characters.
Joe
and Shelley.
Shelley, yeah.
Sorry, Danny.
You know what it is? It's because Danny's on top of my eye.
Yeah. I was going to say Danny, but it's Shelley, and it's sort of like you take on that character, and you have to immerse yourself.
How
in
much
it.
of Joe is in you now? Was it about 80%, 50%?
Probably about 50.
Oh, it's 50-50.
Yeah, I think Joe.
Oh, so you weren't a hooker.
I've never been a hooker.
Well,
I've never been that lucky.
I seem to remember a caller card, but never mind.
Otherwise, I'd have been loaded by now.
Well, you were, it's just the wrong way. But no, I mean, the reason why I asked that is because you said before about drawing from past experience, what you first-hand experienced. And that makes me nervous because I don't like the idea that you struggled that much in the same character as Joe. Would have struggled.
The self-harm.
Yeah, the self-harm.
The self-harm in Safe from Harm. I've never self-harmed.
Yeah.
As somebody I know very dearly to me, self-harm. So what I did is I sort of like took the concept of the self-harm and made it me instead of that person.
Yeah.
And then used it for Joe.
Yeah.
And that's the way that I wrote it.
But the scene where you performed that, I wasn't there for that because it was a sussy scene.
You in that bloody sussy scene.
You wouldn't let me on the set.
No.
Don't know why, I'm not cute. But the thing is, it wasn't just that, it was the fact that you acted that so well and so authentically that I believed that you were capable of it and that you'd been through that.
No. But I knew somebody had, so just seeing it.
So you can relate to people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's a talent. That's a skill.
Well, I'm a northern bird and I've been brought up on an estate, so I've seen quite a lot.
Is that politically correct? Bird.
The
camera's wobbling. Look, it's nodding though. Bird.
Even though I'm living in some
What
nice
about?
areas.
Sorry to interrupt, but the 25th of May, that showreel scene where you've got your head in the sink.
Yeah.
And you're going through that abuse. Did you go through that?
I did, yeah.
That's terrifying.
I know. I did.
How did you get through that scene then? If you've been through that, I mean, I know you said before about writing to cleansing. Look, it's wobbling there. It's a cleansing to go through that, but painful memories.
I think if you're going to do a scene like that, then and you know that you've been through that, it sort of like comes to the surface quite easy, and you're acting.
And you can control that. There's an anchor there for you to sort of weigh yourself down and go. Did you, after the scene, did you go away and just think and just meditate, and what did you do?
I probably took a little bit of time out, but the thing is, because I've healed my traumas and what I've been through in the past, and one being that's why I've been single for 2.5 years, and I really like being on my own now, but because I've healed that from the past, I'm able to play that character now, and even to reach back to that trauma, I know that I've already healed it, so it's a psychological thing.
Yeah, I did a similar scene where I was trying to reach into a past to feel it, but then I was too scared to feel it.
Yeah.
And it came across fake.
And that's what I'm saying. You need to feel it, because if you don't feel it, it'll never work out.
And that's the line you've crossed, and are content with, and that's something that I need to do myself. And I admire people who can do that, because for me, it's the hardest thing in the world to face your own past and get up and go.
See, that's. I mean, if I do decide to play that character in childhood, then that's what it'll be again. So I'll know, how to play it. But if I don't decide to play that character in my own film, then obviously I can give that tip to whoever's going to play that lead. So it just depends.
So are you directing child with him?
I'm going to start directing my own after Bloodspeaker, and then obviously.
I did assume you were going to direct Bloodspeaker, but I think it's going to be handled by someone else now.
What I want to do with Bloodspeaker, I want to sort of like oversee everything that this person's doing. Yeah. The director and the DOP, I want to oversee it. Because I did say from Arm, I wasn't able to do that. I wasn't able to.
You're immersed?
Yeah, because I was immersed in Joe. But with Bloodspeaker, I want to oversee everything, and then I can get my directing skills up to scratch.
You're a fantastic director, by the way. I've been directed by Debra. It's so good to have the right, because you've written the scene for me, and you were there to oversee it. Not much direction, to be fair, because the scene went without really a hitch.
Well, the thing is, I always, like I said, I mean, the actors that I had on board anyway for Safe from Harm knew exactly what they were doing, and obviously had done the work on the script and everything. So if they do that, and they know what they're doing, like with that character, and obviously because I had good actors on there, then it's half the battle.
Well, this is the thing about me and Danny Shepherd together as a twosome doing Jasper and Tomo. With his calibre of acting, with mine, it's sort of it was fine. It was like a unit, and we worked together to make those characters authentic. But with someone else who was lesser, it would have been so much harder.
Yeah, it
was.
It's
same
like
with you and Dan.
Me and Danny, because I mean we've worked together now a couple of times, and so we bounce off each other. And she is the only one. She is the only one that actually can make me cry in a scene when she's
so good.
She is so good.
It's
really
a
good.
neck. It always gets me, a neck. It's hard to project that sort
Don't
of
be
emotion.
telling her that her neck's wrong, because she's already bloody paranoid.
No, honestly, when you cry, when you cry, there's involuntary spasms in your neck, in your eyes, in your cheekbones.
But I mean, she's so good. She felt Shelley anyway.
Yeah.
She did like playing Shelley, so she was really good at it. And once she started doing all this dialogue, what I'd written in that end scene, especially, and she started crying, then it just turned my taps on automatically.
I
just
love that scene for going back.
Yeah. Oh, the going back.
The going back scene.
That's a one-off scene.
I know, but when I first saw that, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
These characters are fully fleshed out.
Yeah.
They're brilliant to watch.
I wrote that in just a couple of days.
I know you did. I remember.
Yeah. And I just wanted something like a one-off creation of Safe from Harm to sort of like, is she going back? And then that way, then there's the opening then for Safe from Harm feature, which I really, really want to do in the future.
Yes.
Only because you want to do Jasper again, but
not the Jasper, a version of Jasper that's moved forward.
Yeah.
I don't want to play the same character again.
No, and you know that Jasper's different in Safe from Harm. feature, don't you? So
yeah,
we've
well,
already
that
spoken
was
about
stipulation. You know, off camera, my stipulation was if I'm going to go back to Jasper, I don't want him to be like.
No,
he's it's called retribution for a reason.
Yeah, retribution.
It's called that because everyone's facing their consequences of their actions, and I like that.
But I think we're safe from harm, and it's going to cost to do that. So
Yeah,
you know,
it's whenever it happens, isn't it?
I thought that was thunder there.
Oh, don't say that. Don't wish. We're going well so far.
Thunder was coming.
But obviously we've talked about writing films and what have you. But I think your main one of the things I want to see from you is your own channel, your own voice online, like I'm doing here. But obviously you want to talk about spirituality and
I talk about humanity more than anything, and the way people are, and all different people kind of perceptions, not just my perception of it, of what's going on, and just sort of like freedom of speech.
You want to build a community?
Yeah, I would. I'd like to build some kind of community. I mean, obviously I have to focus on other things at the moment, but once I'm settled and once I've done the move and everything, then I'll start doing that, and I'll do some vlogs at my new place now.
I absolutely. I mean, we went down there and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a river. It flows and it's perfectly tranquil.
You've got trees and trees and trees and trees and trees.
Trees and trees and trees. And that's something you didn't have in Mawdsley. You had a bit, then you had houses or you had town.
But this is just massive over here, isn't it?
It's beautiful. You've got so much scope. And again, I don't have that in Runcorn.
So it's going to be great for, future films.
Yeah, and I look forward to them. But one thing I wanted to ask you is, are you happy right now?
I'm very, very happy in my creative stuff, and for the last couple of days I've been toiling with a couple of things, personal things, but as in being happy in doing my creative stuff and having that opportunity to actually move forward with it now after so much hard work I've put into the NHS and the private homes and things like that. It's going to be good for me because I can actually, my time and my focus is, apart from my mum, my time and my focus is going to be on what I really, really want to do, what comes from here. And a lot of people don't get that opportunity. I'm not saying that I've got, I'm going to have loads of money. I'm not. I'm still going to have to sort of like fund and find money for my films, but where there's a will, there's a way.
And nothing comes easy. Everything comes hard, but it's worth doing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But anyway, I'm going to thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
On this interview. Are you happy with the interview?
I'm absolutely over the moon with the interview, actually, Stephen, and I think you're doing really, really well on these streams.
Oh, stop it.
You are. You're brilliant at it.
I love people, and I'm not doing it for clicks, likes, subscribers. I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for people who want to talk to me. I love people.
But
so
you do have that skill. It's a natural skill. So keep it up. So
to you.
And to you. Thank you very much for having me.
I know, and thank God it didn't rain. But thank you for joining us. Deborah, any links you want to push through?
Well, I mean, obviously I'll start sharing my YouTube channel once I've sorted everything out in my personal life. But just go to Keeping It Real Productions, the page on Facebook, and give us a like if you haven't. And that's about it for now. I'll share my info later on.
Yes, and I'll put links here as well in the box. Computer graphics wise, it's beyond you. And so thank you very much, Deborah.
You're
and
welcome.
I'll see you all very soon. See you
all
later.
Right, bye.
Wave.
Bye bye.